What's up, guys? Welcome to Good Bad Wrestling, No Holds Barred. This is the show where we dig up cringeworthy wrestling from the past and then bury it again. I am your host, John.
I'm Jack Branks.
And today we have got a fucking doozy of a topic. We are covering Backyard WrestleMania. We are going to go over we are going to go over the final deletion.
I wish I could delete this shit from my mind. I'm seriously pissed at you for making me watch this. I never watched any of this garbage.
So before we dive into this thing off of a ladder, let me let you guys know
In a backyard.
You can find us on Instagram. We're at GoodBad Wrestling. You can find the podcast everywhere on Apple, Google, Spotify, wherever they got podcasts. We're on Facebook, GoodBad Wrestling, No Holds Barred, and we are on YouTube. So if you're looking at us, hit the subscribe button wherever that's at.
I think it's that side.
Somewhere underneath us here is a subscribe button. And leave us a comment. Let us know what you guys think. I know that our audience is going to be polarized on this specific topic.
I don't think they should be.
So, okay, let's get into this. Let me give you guys a little bit of background as far as us and the Hardy Boyz. I have 10 out of 10 respect for the Hardy Boyz.
100%.
Because they've been doing this for so long, because they're so over, because they've made so many innovations, because they've contributed so much to professional wrestling.
Yes, they started at what, 15?
Yeah.
They started in WWE, I think, at like 15, working house shows and squash matches, and they've built this career and they've redone themselves multiple times, and they're still doing it. And they've gone through drug addiction and arrests and alcohol problems, and you name it, they've gone through it. I don't care.
The next thing I was going to say is I don't enjoy their work. I don't personally like what they do in the ring, in their backyards, in their vignettes, in their characters. None of that appeals to me personally.
The Hardy Boyz, when it was back when you had the Brood feuding with the Hardys, we had Edge and Christian versus the Hardys and the Dudleys at WrestleMania. That stuff, okay.
Yeah.
I'm the same. I've never been a huge fan. I understand why people are.
Right.
I get why people are a fan of that work.
Right.
This, I don't. The Matt Hardy or the Jeff Hardy stuff, whatever. It's kind of always been his thing, right?
He was an innovator, and he's like Rob Van
eccentric
Dam or one of these guys where he innovated, he made up his moves, he has his shit, so to speak, that all wrestlers have, and then he stopped innovating. That's what people generally do, and he has his go-to stuff that he does. That stuff doesn't interest me. So just to kind of catch you guys up with where this point in history is, this is like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, right? It's like maybe a year before the Hardy Boyz came back to WWE.
Yeah.
And they were exiled from WWE for what Vince would call demons. We're not going to get into that. It has nothing to do with this. So they went to Impact, and on Impact, they had a massive resurgence. And that resurgence has everything to do with the broken Matt Hardy character and this video.
I don't understand the draw of the broken character. The character, maybe. I don't understand it fully. The character, maybe. The hair, the accent, the voice. What in the Alabama white trash Appalachian hell did we watch? I don't understand the voice.
I could talk about this for 6 hours. What we just watched. So I don't know how it played into a story. I don't watch Impact, and I won't watch Impact. So I don't know what happened before this, and I don't know what happened after this. I just know that this had so many views and so much attention that I had to see it. And my opinion of it right now that we just finished watching it, I don't want to say it's a total 180 from the first time I saw it, but it's definitely different because of doing this show. because of doing what we do and digging up good bad wrestling, this is the most good bad thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I was laughing my ass off through this whole fucking 18-minute video, and never because they wanted me to. So it starts off with Matt Hardy's kid's birthday, which I'm like, oh, I mean, it's kind of weird to involve your 1-year-old in your wrestling career, but okay.
I do admire his property.
Yeah,
it's a weird.
Yeah, I mean, they've made a lot of money. So
first thing I thought of when I saw that little, like, their building,
compound.
I was like, man, I can put a sweet ass gym in there.
so Matt Hardy tells his like servant guy, like Senor Carlos or something, to
I think it was Benjamin, but racist.
Whatever. He tells him to like prepare the grounds for deletion of. I don't know why
Brother Nero.
I don't know why his name is Brother Nero. I don't know where that came from. I don't even know why Matt Hardy is broken, to be honest with you. So if you are a fan of this, hit us up in the comments, hit us up in the DMs. Let us know like what was the catalyst for all this, because I don't know.
And how do we unbreak him so this never has to happen again?
So he sends an army of drones to Jeff Hardy's
house. Hold on. So it goes over to Jeff's house, and Jeff is weed whacking his symbol in his yard.
He's spending his day doing lawn art.
It's probably in between checking the progress of his moonshine in the woods. So he's weed whacking like a symbol, and then he's on his riding mower mowing what looks like his like paint or tattoos that go up his arms and neck into his lawn.
Yeah, it's like the Jeff Hardy brand zigzags, I guess you would call it. I don't fucking know.
He basically mowed Jock Tribal tattoo into his
Mike Tyson face tattoo.
Yeah, into his lawn. He goes inside, grabs a guitar, starts playing, and a drone called Vanguard 1 because their shocker symbol, their loose girl shocker, his fingers aren't together, comes up, and it's got a camera, and he goes, "What in the hell?"
Jeff Hardy's acting is abysmal. He's all, "Oh hell no." So he gets on his motorcycle. First he fights off a swarm of drones.
So that one pops up and it flies inside, and then you see like a dozen of these smaller black drones. You get
hologram Matt Hardy first.
You get some of these black drones come in, and he's whacking them with his guitar. And there's computer generated like explosions, and then the main drone pops up and is like eye level, and you get like this red V of Matt Hardy's face that's not a hologram. It's 100% done on a computer.
I would say that it's the worst CG that I've ever seen, except for that if we have a YouTube show, I wouldn't even know where the fuck to begin to try to do something like that. So I was actually kind of impressed.
Maybe I'll try to make some.
Why don't we have holograms? That's like we got to increase the budget.
So he does this bullshit that he tells Matt, like, this is the final deletion, and we're gonna fight tonight at the border of the properties. Yeah. So apparently they live next door, and they're basically a meth head neighbors that are about to fight for the last pipe. And
you also forgot about Jeff Hardy chasing down the
I was getting there.
The drones, reaching for them at the speed of smell. And you get the shot, like multiple angles and shots and editing of this backyard fucking hillbilly hoedown.
When he hops on his dirt bike, he starts chasing the main drone, and it gets to they have a lake, right? So the whole fight is who's gonna take over the Hardy brand, right? Who's gonna be the Hardy namesake? So he chases this drone to the lake, the drone flies away and he's like, nah, dag nabbit, I didn't get the drone. And then you hear Matt Hardy's voice and he goes, you're not the only one that does landscaping. What? And it shows him on a riding mower just fucking off right through the middle of his lawn art. Did you notice that he's trying to go straight and it kept going sideways, and he would just like keep having to adjust the wheel, and he's trying to keep his arms out like this and go straight, but it keeps going like
it's just veering off
whatever direction. He keeps adjusting it.
And it's there's like 1,000 instances in this where there should be an edit and there's not, and then there are edits where there shouldn't be. And yeah, so he just fucks off his whole lawn art. Like that's the big FU, right? And then
cuts to the ring setup.
Yeah, so they go to the ring setup where they're it's like a Rambo style montage of weapons and Senor Benjamin putting fucking Roman candles under the ring and
banging chairs together. And Matt comes up with a gas can, and he's like, this is the remains of the gas from my landscaping adventure, and put this all over the battleground because it'll be okay.
All over?
Okay.
All over?
So let's be realistic here. At this time, it's daytime. You pour that shit on there a day, in less than 3 minutes, it's absorbed into the ground. It's not gas anymore.
That's your takeaway from this whole thing. That's the unrealistic part. That you're like the guy who watches Scooby-Doo and you're like, nope, that you can't actually run in one hallway side and come out the other. That's not real. And then Jeff Hardy shows up, and now they're gonna.
Matt's in the ring, right? It cuts to night. Matt enters and he's in the ring and he pulls out his violin.
Oh yeah,
that was given to him by my good friend Andrea. With some like
he plays a little ditty where it's edited. There's like 20 cuts here, and you can clearly tell Matt Hardy doesn't know how to play the violin.
Not a lick. And then Jeff shows up and he's I knew you'd show up. What?
First the chubby referee drives his Hyundai right up to the ring.
And Matt saw him in his vision. Saw this guy in his vision.
But he saw him in his vision, yet he questions, are you an official? Like, are you a licensed official? I mean, he did not really look like a referee, so and then Jeff shows up and they have the worst hardcore match I've ever seen. This was worse than the Kennel from Hell hardcore match. If you have the opportunity to edit it.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell viewers, if you have the opportunity to watch, but
no,
don't.
You should. You absolutely should, because when you talk about good, bad, this whole thing is good, bad. I'm saying if you have the opportunity if you and I were going to make a match and record it alone, if I give you a weak-ass kick to the stomach that barely moves your shirt, you're going to go, do it again. Right?
Yeah.
They are pitter-patter, barely touching each other. It is, I don't understand how you conceive of this whole thing. We're going to do drones, and we're going to have multiple camera angles, and we're going to add music, and it's going to be
this big production.
Cinematic. How can you have such a bad match then? How can people this experienced, who are brothers, have a bad match against each other?
I have a match on video that looks like that when I was 6 months into training, and me and another guy had a match before class one day. just because I was stupid and 19 years old.
It has like high spots. Jeff Hardy climbs the ladder that's already leaned against a tree, and he does the swanton bomb on a ladder onto Matt Hardy where he grazed him. He doesn't get the pin, and then it spills out. Matt Hardy's shooting fucking Roman candles at him.
Okay, so how I can't even think of the word, irresponsible that they're
it's fire season.
They're shooting fireworks. Kids are gonna watch this and go, I'm gonna be like Jeff and Matt, and I'm gonna shoot Roman candles at
I don't know why, but there's something more appealing to a child when they see it in a backyard setting than if they saw it in an arena setting. That just makes me think that people are going to copy this because it's backyard wrestling. Just because you own a drone and you happen to be a multimillionaire doesn't make this not backyard wrestling.
Yeah, it's literally in their backyard.
Yeah, so and like then things get weird.
He grabs it's not a hoe, but it's a tool used to knock down weeds. It's basically a blade, and he's Brother Nero. The final, like he's gonna lop his head off.
Yeah, think of the statement of the weight of now it gets weird. so Jeff Hardy has a Roman candle of his own, and he fires back, right, and then Matt runs away to go hide behind a boat that's near the lake.
And he even says as he's running, "This is a dilapidated boat," and hides under it.
So they're next to the lake. Matt gets the upper hand, and he throws Jeff into the lake and thinks that he has won.
He's been flushed because it's water.
This shit blew my fucking mind. Jeff was wearing Jeff Hardy attire, baggy jeans from Hot Topic, and that's it.
Yeah.
He emerges from the lake wearing an Electro from Spider-Man costume with a full mask, shirt,
trench coat,
like the whole thing. Like,
didn't that become his character?
I think so.
In Impact, like the belt that was made to look like that.
I think that what happened from here is that lake has some sort of powers that turned him bad, and that was his. I don't know.
Again, that's what happens when you dump the remnants of your meth lab into. You get meth gators and this.
Meth gators. Isn't that a Florida college football team?
Yeah, it's close enough.
So he comes out looking like broke ass Electro from Spider-Man. And
the dollar store version.
he takes down Matt Hardy temporarily. Matt Hardy reaches over to the boat, which was previously flipped over and is now not flipped over. Not only is it right side up, it has an already switched on flashlight inside of it. So he grabs the already switched on flashlight, and he looks to the lake, which is the last place where we saw Jeff. And then behind him is that suit laying on the ground.
So
I was like, what the fuck is going on?
No, because when he was attacking Matt, Senor Benjamin came up. And then
oh, right, he tased Jeff.
Yeah, he tried tasing him, and
Jeff went back in the lake. He fell in
the lake.
Yeah.
And then Senor Benjamin takes off. Was that his name, or am I just
I
being
don't
a prick?
fucking know. That's what we're gonna call him.
And he takes off running,
Benjamin.
And then you see that costume on the ground, and Matt calls over the official, and the official comes over, and he pulls the mask off, and it's Senor Benjamin.
Yeah, Jeff pulled a fast one on him. So Jeff attacks Matt, and pushes him into what I think was the dirt bike track.
Yeah.
I remember seeing videos back in the day that Jeff Hardy's like super into dirt bike riding. So that tracks. That makes sense. There just happens to be a gigantic wooden statue of Jeff Hardy's little symbol with a ladder leaned against it and a platform nailed to the top of it, which does not look safe.
And a stream of liquid going right up to it.
So Jeff puts Matt right underneath it.
He chokes Matt out.
Yeah, he climbs to the top of it, and then Matt's wife brings the candle from their child's birthday cake.
So he has a
flashback.
He has a flashback.
This shitty hardcore match features a flashback
to White Trash Birthday, when he says this candle represents, like, this candle won't go out until the final deletion, till Brother Nero's deleted. I still can't get past what is what does Nero mean? I don't.
Like I said, I don't know where these characters came from, what the origin is. I don't get it. I don't know anything really about it other than this video and what WWE did with it, which I understand is watered down and is not as good.
It seriously angers me.
So the flame goes up the symbol. Jeff Hardy falls, but not to the low side, but to the high side of the dirt.
He falls 6 feet.
Yeah,
onto a 12-foot pile of dirt.
To be fair, if I did that, I'm going to the hospital. You're not going to see me for months. This is Jeff Hardy we're talking about. He's supposed to fall 50 feet. That's why we have a Jeff Hardy. That's what it does. And then Matt pins him, and then that's the end of the clip that we watched. I don't know what takes place after that. So when I watched this when it first happened, I felt the way you feel now. I felt rage that I had to sit through it, and I was just trying to see what the people were talking about. Today, after watching it, I could literally talk about this for the next 3 hours. I don't think it's good at all, but it is definitely good bad. It's creative, but just because you have an idea and you have a drone doesn't mean you should execute it. Doesn't mean that Impact should have put it on TV. The fact that it exists, it makes me laugh. It's comical, it's awful, and it's amazing. I don't.
To me, this is the wrestling version of a social media opinion. Just because you have an account and you have an opinion doesn't mean everybody needs to hear it. Just because you can
set our wrestling opinion show.
just because, yeah. Well, if you're listening, it's because you want to hear our stupid opinions on wrestling. It's in the warning at the beginning of the show. But just because you can doesn't mean you should, and they definitely shouldn't have done it.
I don't know that I agree with that, because I love how bad it is. I really, really do. This is like watching They Live or like Basket Case or some shitty movie that I loved because
Basket Case is great.
Because it's so bad. I think this is hysterically awful. I don't get, like I said, you're going to take the time to edit the lawn mowing scene, and you're going to take the time to edit, you're going to create a hologram graphic, yet the match portion of it, you're just going to allow to be shitty. These are long-time professionals. No one has done more in wrestling than they have, right? You're still going to have little pitter-patter heat and little missed things that didn't land flush, and I don't get it. I don't understand any of it.
What I would give it a good bad is if this was a vignette, and the vignette ended at prepare this ring for battle, that whole thing, and then it cuts to the ring in Impact, and it's set up for their final deletion with ladders and chairs and stupid camo covered trellises to throw people through.
Where the fuck did that come from? Why? Jeff goes under the ring and he pulls out a fucking lattice.
It looks like the dividers in your room, the trifold dividers, but you can tell that it's like gardening trellis or lattice
came from the gardening section of Home Depot.
And they
were like, they had to ask someone, is that decoration or is it for sale?
Yeah, and they threw like the hunting camo like draped over it. And
everything about this is bananas, batshit crazy. I hate it and I love it at the same time. I don't get why it has persisted. I don't know why that there's a section of the public that gravitated to this like for real and loves it, and Matt Hardy, this character, still has weight to it, and there's still a demand for it, and people want him to be the exalted one in the Dark Order in AEW, and the Young Bucks are showing up on his YouTube show that is a continuation of this.
What I don't understand the drive, like you said, towards it.
Yeah,
and it's not just that people we gravitate towards dumb shit in wrestling. It's wrestling, and I get that. But this was when this like character, this story, like this was the biggest thing in wrestling
for a short period of time. This was the hottest.
The hottest thing in wrestling was deleted Matt Hardy. I don't understand the attraction to it at all.
I think what it appeals to is the YouTube and social media age and how bad WWE is and was at this time. That if this is your alternative, that this is what you would choose. Right? How bad must WWE be for a large section of people to rather watch 45-year-old recovering drug addicts have a terrible hardcore match in their backyard with Roman candles and a magic lake? That speaks volumes to how shit WWE is.
So you're giving this a good bad?
I'm giving it the highest good bad of anything that we've done. It's not my favorite thing that we've done, but it is the most good bad thing imaginable.
I'm giving it a bad, and I wish I could delete it from my memory and existence. We've been talking about this for 26 minutes,
and I could
go. The video was 18 minutes. That's what 72 minutes,
and 2/3%,
and 2/3 minutes of time in my life I'm never getting back.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, we enjoy talking about it.
Yeah.
So that's
like I said, Sweat Hogs, get at us on this one because I know you guys have an opinion. Hit us up in the DMs at GoodBad Wrestling or on Facebook.
DMs.
Leave us a comment on YouTube. Subscribe. Let us know if you hate our opinions, if you agree with me, if you agree with Sean or other. Also, stay tuned if you're on the podcast because we're going to give you the news of the week following this. And we're looking forward to hearing from you guys. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Peace.